So hello everybody. Today we'll be taking a look at this F-100D Thunderbirds from Revell. This is an old Revell ESCI kit. It's a 1/48 scale. I thought it would be cool to have an old type Thunderbirds because I saw the Thunderbirds back in the 90s and the Blue Angels as well. It was pretty cool. So I'll be getting an F-16 Thunderbirds, and then I got this one too. Cool box art. I don't know what's with the target here though. Here on the sides we got some other kits from them. All old kits, of course. F-18, AJ-37 Viggen, and a MiG-27 Flagger. A MiG-23, Marine Solner 502, and a A-10. A-10s are cool, aren't they? Now, I already got plans going here to build this. I bought a lot of extras. Because it's an old kit, and it doesn't come with a lot, really, but... Take a look at the instructions here. We'll start out here. Looks like we're building the front wheel well. Then we go and build this simple cockpit. It has a seat, a stick, and that's pretty much it. In the base. So here we are putting the wings together. Horizontal stabilizers. Here's the exhaust, which I'm going to be replacing with this resin one. Putting the cockpit in, and a lot of these details are for the cockpit. We have some detail for the landing, the undercarriage. And this is the cockpit. And some seat belts as well. So here we have a bunch of the undercarriage here, the refueling probe, and the air brake, the wheels, the main landing gear, the front landing gear, the doors to the wheelbase. Here we have the intake, pretty simple, this intake in the front here of the fuselage. Then we have the canopy frame and the clear plastic there. And then it's already finished, that's all there is to it. Then we have our decals, our painting instructions here. And it's in a metal finish, and we have the colors here: red, white, and blue in the front, and red and white here in the back. Pretty simple painting. Most of the colors come with the decals, but I'll probably be painting a lot of them on, or trying to. I don't know how I'm gonna manage that though. I would rather paint these colors on, but getting them, I don't know. It's going to be quite difficult to get those curves in there, really. Unless I use the decals as like a mask or something. So here's our large decal sheet here. You can see here's the whole nose here. And here's for the horizontal stabilizers and for the tail. Being as old as it is, I'm really impressed with how they still look. They're not very yellowed. It has some nice decals for the instrument panels, but like I said, I bought the Edward kit set for it. They're really nice decals. some weird stuff going on here in between it though, like the ink from the instructions kind of wore off onto it. Like they put it fresh off the printing press into the kit or something. I don't know. Now this is an old kit, so it does have raised panel lines instead of engraved. But there's really nice rivet holes along it and everything. See here the raised panel lines? Maybe you can see the rivets, I don't know. The interior, there's nothing here on the interior, nothing at all. It's completely blank. So overall, you know, the raised panel lines, like I said, old kit. There's a lot of flash here as well. The refueling probe doesn't look all that great. Or is that even a refueling probe, or is it a pitted? Is it the pitted tube? I'm not even really sure. I mean, there's not a lot of detail, but I think it'll turn out okay still. I got all the extra for it that I could find. Here's the wings. These fell off already. And the fuel tanks. Now, I think, being what it is, the wheels look pretty good. You see it has some molding lines there. It's going to have to be sanded down a little bit, but it's not so bad. It's going to be, I mean, I got it pretty cheap off eBay. They are old kits, so. They do a lot of good molding here with the rivets and everything, I think. And see, this is actually engraved. And the flaps come separately. But there's quite a bit of flash around it. It only has 3 screws. The stuff's falling off all over the place here. You see the wheel well does have some interior detail. I mean the wheel bay doors here. There is some detail there. Here as well on the front. The cockpit floor. Basically the whole cockpit except for the stick. Really nothing there to see. Hardly any detail at all. That's why I got the extra for it, because I want it to look a little bit better. The seat's pretty okay, I think. But there's a lot of weird molding lines in it. They almost look like cracks everywhere. See these lines everywhere here. But I think once it's painted, it's not going to be seen anyways. The canopy frame. Intake. Intake is pretty plain too, but I couldn't find an intake for it. Or at least I haven't yet. I'll put a link into the to everything I found for it. See here, some nice detail in here, as well as here, but a big pin mark. Here's the machine, the guns for it, or did it have cannons? They actually did a decent job of the wheelbase. There's more detail in the wheelbase than there is in the cockpit, which I find kind of opposite of what they do these days. They put more in the cockpit than they do in the wheelbase often. And here we have the canopy. It's pretty thick. The top glass doesn't have any framing because the framing comes separately, but the front glass does. have a little framing here on the top. It looks pretty good, but the glass isn't that. I mean, the clear plastic isn't that clear. It's going to have to be polished up some. It's been pretty badly scratched as well. So it's a pretty simple kit. It's an old kit. There's a lot of good detail actually for an old kit, I think, especially in the wheelbase, which they seem to ignore these days. But like I said, the cockpit is like nothing. I can't say I'll give it a good score, but I think in the end it'll turn out okay with all the extras I bought for it. And in my next video, we're going to be taking a look at this T59 from Hobbycraft in 135 scale. This is a Fedayeen version, an Iraq version. T59 is of course a Chinese-built T55 or T54, I forget which one. The difference between the two is in the gun. I think the T54 had the gun, had the things on the end, and the other one, I can't remember. Anyways, I'll put that in there. So, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.